That can't be right.
What's the problem, mate?
Must be the festive season, I reckon.
Hey, look, I told you not to eat all those Christmas cookies.
All right, you're not exactly a salad ambassador yourself, are you?
Yeah. I'm not the guy with the wedding coming up, though.
Okay, fair point.
All right, look, if you want to lose some weight, let's go talk to a professional. I know a guy. Well, here he is. All right, mate, spill the beans.
How'd you lose all that weight?
Hey guys, welcome to MotorShare. I'm Joe.
And I'm Chris. And beside us is a 2021 Lotus Elise.
That's right, a Lotus Elise Final Edition.
And when we say final, we truly mean it. Sadly, this is an end of an era.
That's right, after 25 years of redefining lightweight performance, Lotus decided to send the Elise off with this.
So while the world says goodbye to this genuine little sports car,
we're saying hello, because it's now a part of the MotorShare fleet.
Today, we're going to dive into what makes this car so special, why it's one of the purest driving experiences you ever have, and why we're so excited to share it with you today.
That's right, but before any of that, let's rewind and check out why this car's legacy is such a big deal. This is the Lotus Elise, and it's more than just a car. This is a philosophy on wheels. Born alongside myself in 1996, the Elise was Lotus's bold statement that lightweight engineering could redefine the driving experience. The Elise is named after Lotus's then chairman Romano Articcioli's granddaughter, Elisa. Its foundation was its revolutionary bonded aluminium chassis, a first for the automotive world. Weighing just 68 kilograms, this chassis not only made the Elise incredibly light, but exceptionally rigid, setting the benchmark for handling and agility. It was a masterclass in weight-saving technology and a principle that's remained at the heart of every Elise since. Under the hood, the earlier models were powered by a modest 1.8-litre Rover K-Series engine. But thanks to the car's featherweight design, it delivered performance that punched well above its weight. Literally. Over the years, the Elise evolved with Toyota engines taking over in the later generations, offering reliability and even more performance while staying true to its lightweight ethos. The Elise wasn't just a car for enthusiasts, it became the foundation for some of Lotus's most celebrated vehicles. The Exige, an Elise tuned up to 11. The Evora, a Grand Tourer inspired by the same lightweight principles. Even Tesla's first car, the Roadster, borrowed heavily from the Elise's DNA. But the Elise's legacy isn't just about engineering, it's about connection. Every element of this car was designed to make you feel something. The unassisted steering, the exposed gear linkage, the wind in your hair driving experience. It's raw, mechanical, and unfiltered. It's everything a true driver's car should be. With each iteration, the Elise became sharper, faster, and more refined, yet it never lost sight of what made it special in the first place. This final edition, the 240, represents the pinnacle of that journey. A supercharged 1.8-litre engine, a curb weight of just 922 kilograms, and a driving experience that's as analog as it gets in a digital world. The Lotus Elise is a celebration of simplicity and purity in a world where cars are becoming more complicated than ever.
let's just take a moment to appreciate how compact this car truly is. The Lotus Elise isn't just small, it's purposely small. Every inch of this car was designed to minimize weight and maximize performance. Starting at the front, the first thing you'll notice is this sharp and aggressive front end that's ready to cut through the air. The car has multiple vents throughout the front that allows cool air in to ensure the car is running at its peak performance at all times. Lotus have also incorporated this LED daytime running headlights, which just adds to the aggression really nicely. Moving on to the side, you can really see how low this car actually is. And that's a real problem. It's not a car you step into, it's a car you really have to lower yourself into. If you're not flexible, boy, you better start stretching now. Then we have these side vents, which channel that cool air directly into that engine bay, keeping that 1.8 litre supercharged motor ticking over really nicely. Check out these forged alloy wheels. You've got 17s in the rears and 16s at the front. They're super lightweight, and behind them you've got these AP racing brakes. For you Lotus fanatics, you probably notice that this car is missing its 240 Final Edition stickers, which in the name, they only come on these Final Edition cars. Unfortunately, this car had some front end damage when we picked it up, so they were removed so the clamshell could come off and be repaired. Don't worry, we've got some on order, so they'll be back on the car shortly. Moving around to the back of the car, we've got this large diffuser under the rear bumper, which helps the Elise stick to the ground. We've also got a centrally mounted rear exit exhaust, which not only looks incredible, but sounds fantastic. And trust me, you guys will be hearing that later. Now, this car has got a soft top. It's not the quickest or fanciest design out there. It can be quite difficult to get on and off. However, once it is off, really gives you that open top experience, which truly enhances your connection to the road. All in all, the Elise's exterior design is a brilliant blend of form and function. It's lightweight, it's aerodynamic, and it's timeless. Whether the car's just parked on your driveway or flying down your favorite back road, this car still will get a lot of attention. Now, I'm gonna leave you guys with watching Joe try and climb into this thing, and he's gonna give you a rundown of the interior. Enjoy.
All right, we've actually owned this thing for the last few months, so you'd assume I'm professional at getting in and out of it, but that's absolutely not the case. It's still a nightmare. I'll show you what I've learnt so far. It's not butt first, it's not head first. It's 1 foot in, then you're gonna lower your butt onto the seat, and then you need to lift this other leg over this massive sill, and you're finally in the car. All right, once you've got that little yoga class over with and you're actually in the car, you'll be surprised with how much leg room there actually is. It's not the worst thing in the world. And as soon as you hop in here, you feel like you're in a cockpit of a race car. It's really cool. So let's jump straight into it. First thing is the digital instrument cluster in front of me, which is unique to the Final Edition variants of these cars. There's a couple key features I love on this new cluster, including the LED shift lights that run along the top of the screen. And you also get a separate display when you switch into sport mode. It'll change the speed or rev gauge from a horizontal line at the top to your traditional stacked tachometer design in touring mode. Looks really cool. Now this is a work of art, the exposed gear linkage. It's not just there to look cool, although it absolutely does. You can see the precision of every shift. It's raw, mechanical, and it gives you this wonderful connection to the car. Plus, it's a brilliant conversation starter. Even the pedals are beautifully crafted. They're perfectly positioned for some heel to toe shifting, which if you're into driving is a real treat. Then there are these bucket seats. They're lightweight and supportive, but comfort, that was the lowest of their priority, I'm assuming. The whole interior is about minimalism. There's no touchscreens, no unnecessary buttons, just the essentials. It's refreshing, really. In an age where cars are trying to do everything else for you, the Lotus is just focused on being a car. A really, really fun car. All right, enough talking. Let's see what this thing feels like out on the road, because trust me, everything in this interior makes sense once you're driving it.
We are behind the wheel of a 2021 Lotus Elise. And by the smile on my face, I don't even want to leave. How good is this car? Well, let me tell you, how about we start with some performance stats. 1.8 litre supercharged 4-cylinder inline 4, pumping out 240 horsepower in the Final Edition. 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds. And look, the stats aren't that impressive, I get it. On paper, they're nothing compared to these other sports cars. But with a car that only weighs 922 kilograms and is about 5 inches off the concrete, this thing feels a hell of a lot quicker than it actually is.
All right, like I said, once you're actually behind the wheel, the interior starts to make sense because there's absolutely no distractions in this car. So every single one of your sensors are going to be focused on connecting with the car on the road, which is exactly what this car is built for. Now, in terms of space in the car, you'll be quite surprised at how much legroom you're actually left with. The car's got like a really cool driving position. You're sitting right under the steering wheel, and these seats are, they do hug you actually when you're whipping it through these corners. But width-wise is it's terrible. If you've got a passenger and you're on a long drive, you guys' shoulders are going to be bonded together by the end of the trip. There's no like center window buttons. You're just expected to reach right over and wind the second window down like this, which isn't a problem because it's within arm's reach. Whereas something like my NA-MX-5 that I daily drive, it doesn't have this much leg room. Your knees are normally up beside the steering wheel, but there's a lot more width. It does have a center console with cup holders, and you're not rubbing shoulders with your passenger. Yeah, the Elise it's super skinny, but plenty of leg room. Surprisingly comfortable, to be honest.
It's so much fun. It's so engaging, especially with the 6-speed manual transmission. Throwing it through these gears, every gear change, it clicks. It's so precise. This car is truly about the overall experience. It's not about, speed in a straight line, but this thing around corners is seriously unmatched.
Hey you, quick ad break, sorry to interrupt the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all the above. Quick, now, fast. I said fast! All right, you did it? Cool. Back to the video.
Let's touch on the practicality. Clearly it's not a car that you're gonna take your wife away on a weekend. Can't fit the kids in the back, 2-seater. You're basically invading your passenger's private space all the time, and that's just what this car is. It's small, it's fun. It's the type of car that you go for a Sunday cruise and give it a bit of a thrashing out in those back roads, like I kind of am here in New Zealand. The way you can just throw it into gears around corners, it gives you so much confidence that you can put it into any corner, and the only thing you're doing is sticking to the road. You're not falling into a ditch or anything like that. I cannot believe how quickly and how agile this thing turns. It's truly ridiculous. Oh man, rev matching, downshifting. This is a true driver's car. Provides the full driving experience.
Another note about the interior is the quality. It's actually really good. I was sitting here trying to touch on the exhaust and engine noise note, and it made me think I can't hear any plastics rattling or nuts and bolts clanking together. Everything's really sturdy, and you can see a level of professionalism and effort put into the interior, as basic as it is. There's a level of quality here. Another one of Lotus's design ethos is to make sure the gear knob is within hand's width of the steering wheel, so you can just snap between gears. And within hand's reach, I mean, they've done exactly that. It's right there. You can snap and switch between gears. The car is incredibly engaging. I mean, it doesn't even have power steering, which is a nightmare in and around town through parking lots, and it has an abysmal turning radius for whatever reason. But once you get this thing picked up and moving, they just don't make cars as fun anymore. The car's so much fun, and it's because of the way the Elise has been designed. Incredibly lightweight, incredibly raw. It just constantly feeds you this wonderful sense of attachment to the car. Like I said, that exposed linkage where you can see all the shifts. Yeah, well done, Lotus.
Then you rev match on the downshift, pull it up into those higher RPMs, and just live life. It's just so much fun. If you're looking for a weekend driver, a track monster, but something that's going to keep you on the road and doesn't feel like it's going to kill you all the time, then look no further. One thing you do have to keep in mind is that you are so close to the ground, so if you're like New Zealand and you've got a few potholes lying about, just try and avoid them at all costs, trust me, because it kind of does hurt when you hear this thing bottom out. It's certainly a different experience, put it that way. Like, if you're not used to driving something that weighs next to nothing or is so small, it certainly provides a different driving experience. Especially when it's so loud.
Look, just opening the throttle up on a straight road there. Because the car weighs next to nothing, it can pick up and move. I mean, it does not have overwhelming stat numbers, but when it weighs nothing, look at it just gluing to the road. I mean, do I need a touch on the handling and agility of this car? It's a Lotus. It drives like a go-kart. It absolutely glues to the road. I have no issue with understeer. The car is a lot of fun. And again, very comparable to my Mazda MX-5 that I drive. So sitting in here does feel like second nature. They're both built for the driver. They're both built for fun. And you don't find that anymore in this new age, where it's all about numbers, it's all about speed and modern amenities. This car has been stripped raw to the bone and built for one job, and that's to have fun driving. So I suppose it is sad. It is the end of an era, for the Elise at least. It's sad to see another fun manufactured car gone. I mean, who's going to be confident enough in this new age to produce a car without power steering? I mean, come on. And you know, with some random aftermarket singleton head unit. No, everything's got to have modern amenities, assisted everything, Apple CarPlay. So yeah, it is sad. But not as sad for us, because fortunately we're the new owners and have the keys to this final edition and get to experience the pinnacle of what the Elise is. It's one of those cars that puts a massive smile on your face every time you drive it. Goodness me.